Welcome my friends to English Channel, the place where you learn English through real stories, real conversations and life-changing lessons. Before we begin, make sure you subscribe right now and turn on the bell icon, because every video you watch here will take you one step closer to fluency and freedom. Now, today's story will change the way you think about money, work, and success. It's one of the most powerful books ever written, Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Millions have learned from it, and today, we'll learn together in simple, clear English. So stay till the end, because I'll also give you a practical 5-step plan to start your own journey toward financial freedom. Robert Kiyosaki grew up in Hawaii. He had 2 father figures in his life, one rich, one poor. His poor dad was his real father, an educated man with a stable government job. His rich dad was his best friend's father, a successful businessman with no formal education. Poor dad said, "Study hard, get a good job, and find security." Rich dad said, "Learn how money works and make it work for you." Poor dad believed in the path of a safe salary. Rich dad believed in the power of assets, ownership, and financial intelligence. 2 men, 2 beliefs, 2 very different lives. If you haven't yet, click subscribe to stay with me, because the lessons you're about to hear can change the way you live. Imagine being 9 years old and hearing 2 adults giving you opposite advice every single day. One says, "Go to school, get a stable job, save money." The other says, "Don't just save, invest, learn, and grow your money." Poor dad said, "Money is the root of all evil." Rich dad said, "The lack of money is the root of all evil." Poor dad said, "I can't afford it." Rich dad said, "How can I afford it?" Robert loved both of them, but he realized that the way people think about money decides how they live. Their mindset creates their future, and here's the truth. The same is true for you and me. The way we think about money determines the life we create. One day, Robert asked his rich dad, "Can you teach me how to be rich?" Rich dad smiled and said, "Yes, but not the way you expect." He started by making Robert and his friend work in one of his small shops. They worked for free. After a few weeks, Robert was angry. He said, "You're not paying me anything." Rich dad replied, "Good. Now you're learning one of life's most important lessons." He leaned forward and said, "The poor and middle class work for money. The rich make money work for them." That single sentence opened Robert's eyes. It was not about working harder. It was about working smarter. If this lesson makes sense to you so far, hit the like button. It helps more learners find this video. Rich Dad explained something called the rat race. He said, "Most people spend their entire life running in circles. Here's what it looks like. You go to school, find a job, earn money, buy things, pay bills, and then work harder to pay for those same things. And when you earn more, you buy more, a bigger house, a newer car, a better phone. Then you have more bills, more stress, and more pressure. You run faster and faster, but you stay in the same place. That's the rat race." Sound familiar? Many people spend 40 years in jobs they don't love, just to pay for things they don't need, all because they never learned how money really works. If you want to escape that race, subscribe now, because here you'll learn how to break free, step by step. One day, Rich Dad drew 2 boxes. On the left, he wrote assets. On the right, he wrote liabilities. He said, "The rich buy assets. The poor and middle class buy liabilities, but they think they're assets." An asset is something that puts money into your pocket, even when you're sleeping. A liability is something that takes money out of your pocket. A car, that's a liability. Fuel, insurance, repairs. A house with a heavy mortgage, liability, until it starts earning for you. A rental property or business that gives you cash every month, that's an asset. The lesson was simple. The poor buy things, the rich buy income. Let's pause for a second. If you're still watching, it means you're serious about learning. So take a moment, Click subscribe, because this channel will keep you motivated to build real, lasting success. Rich Dad said, "You don't have to be rich to start, but you must start to become rich." He gave Robert a clear map for building assets. Build or buy small businesses that earn for you. Invest in things that grow in value, like stocks or real estate. Create intellectual property, books, music, ideas. Learn valuable skills that increase your income. When you focus on assets first, luxuries come later, without stress or debt. It's not about luck. It's about decisions and habits. Rich Dad's next lesson was simple but powerful. Pay yourself first. Most people get their salary, pay all their bills, and then try to save what's left. Usually nothing. Rich people do the opposite. When they earn money, they first put aside a portion for savings or investments. Then they handle their bills. This habit builds discipline. It teaches you to live below your means and prioritize your future over temporary pleasure, even if it's a small amount. Start with 5 or 10%. What matters is consistency. You're not just saving money, you're building freedom. Rich Dad taught Robert to change his language. Poor Dad often said, "I can't afford it." Rich Dad said, "How can I afford it?" When you say "I can't," your brain shuts down. When you say "How can I?" your brain wakes up and starts finding answers. That's the secret. The rich don't think with excuses. They think with questions. That's what keeps their mind growing. Rich Dad explained that most people are controlled by two emotions: fear and greed. Fear keeps people trapped in jobs they don't like. Greed pushes them to buy things they don't need. Fear whispers, "You might lose everything." Greed whispers, "Buy more." Show people you're successful. The rich feel both emotions too, but they control them. They don't let fear stop them, and they don't let greed control them. They act with knowledge and courage, not panic and desire. If you're still here, give this video a thumbs up. It tells me you're learning seriously. Rich Dad said, "Money without knowledge is dangerous." That's why so many people win the lottery and lose everything within a few years, because they don't know how to handle money. Financial education means learning how taxes work, how investments grow, and how to make decisions with logic, not emotion. The more you learn, the less you fear, because knowledge gives confidence. That's why you should keep watching videos like this. This is not just an English lesson. It's life training. So subscribe and stay connected, because every week we learn real English through real life lessons. Rich Dad divided people into 4 types. The cash flow quadrant. E. Employee works for someone else. C. Self-employed works for themselves. B. Business owner owns a system that works for them. D. Investor, money works for them. Most people stay on the left side, employee and self-employed. They trade time for money. The rich move to the right side, business and investor. They create systems and investments that earn while they sleep. Freedom begins when you stop selling all your time for money. Rich Dad said, "Money grows when you give it time." That's called compounding. If you invest $100 a month and it grows at 8% yearly, after 10 years, you'll have more than $18,000. Not because you worked harder, but because you were patient. Compounding is like planting a tree. You don't see results overnight. You water it, care for it, and wait. Then one day it gives you shade, fruit, and peace. Wealth works the same way. Consistency beats speed. Rich Dad said, "Your habits decide your future." He told Robert to build 3 daily habits. Track your spending, no matter how small. Save and invest before you spend. Keep learning about money every day, he said. Discipline is the bridge between your dreams and your freedom. And it's true. Small habits create big results. Rich Dad said, failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of success. He told stories of people who failed again and again, but learned each time. One businessman failed 5 times before his 6th company succeeded. Each mistake was a lesson. If you stop after failing, you lose. If you learn, you grow stronger. So don't be afraid to start. Don't be afraid to fall. Be afraid of not trying. After years of lessons, Robert understood that real wealth wasn't just money. It was freedom. Freedom to choose your work. Freedom to help others. Freedom to live life on your own terms. Money is not the goal. It's the tool. If you control money, it brings peace. If money controls you, it brings stress. Real success is not about luxury. It's about choice. Rich Dad taught that the happiest and most successful people are the ones who give back. When you help others, teach or share your knowledge, life rewards you in new ways. He told the story of a man who started a scholarship fund, changed hundreds of lives, and brought him respect, happiness, and new opportunities. When you give, you grow. So here's a small request. If this video is helping you learn, subscribe right now. That's your way of giving back, because every subscriber helps this channel reach more learners around the world. Here's what you can do starting right now. Track your spending for 7 days. Find one expense you can cut and save that amount. Open a savings or investment account. Pay yourself first. Learn one thing about money every week. Set one goal. I will buy my first asset this year. These small actions may seem simple, but they create massive change over time. Remember, small steps build big success. Let's quickly review what we learned today. Don't just work for money. Make money work for you. Escape the rat race by buying assets, not liabilities. Pay yourself first. Replace I can't afford it with how can I afford it. Control fear and greed. Keep learning every day. Build habits of saving, investing, and giving. Real wealth is freedom, not just income. If you want more lessons like this, click that subscribe button now. Join our growing community of English learners and thinkers who are building confidence and financial understanding, one story at a time. Now let's practice together. Repeat these lines aloud. An asset puts money into my pocket. A liability takes money out of my pocket. I pay myself first before I pay my bills. I don't fear money. I learn how it works. I make money work for me. I am building assets every day. I am learning, growing, and becoming free. Say these lines every morning for 1 week. You'll notice how your mindset and your English both start improving. My friends, remember this, you don't need to be born rich to build wealth. You just need the right mindset, knowledge, and daily habits. Start small, but start now. Track your spending. Learn something new. Save a little. Invest wisely. Each small step brings you closer to freedom. The road to success is not about luck. It's about learning and taking action. Never stop learning, because the moment you stop learning, you stop growing. So from today, think like an investor. Act like a learner. Live like someone who's building freedom, not fear. And before you go, make sure you subscribe to English channel if you haven't already. It's free, and it's your daily push toward confidence, fluency, and a better future. Turn on the bell icon. Leave a comment saying, I'm ready to learn, and share this video with a friend who wants to improve their English and their mindset. Because when you help someone else learn, you learn faster yourself. Thank you for being here, my friends. Remember, don't just work for money. Make money work for you. I'll see you in the next lesson. Until then, keep learning, keep growing, and never give up.